It finally happened. After months of tension, speculation, and a whole lot of drama, James Cook and the Buffalo Bills have reached a resolution. The running back who had everyone talking throughout the offseason, whether it was because of cryptic social media posts, his training camp holding, or his public demand for top-tier money, just inked a 4-year extension worth $48 million with $30 million guaranteed. That's right. The James Cook saga is over, and he's now locked in as a cornerstone of this Bills offense for the foreseeable future. Now, let's not pretend this wasn't a bumpy road. It all started back in February when Cook made waves by pinning a comment on his own Instagram Live, claiming he wanted $15 million per season. That raised plenty of eyebrows, especially for a player who had just started to prove himself as a legitimate lead back. From there, the drama snowballed. Cook skipped voluntary team activities, showed up to camp late, and then after just over a week of practice, he started warming up but didn't take the field during the preseason opener against the Giants. That's when everyone realized something was up. Cook wasn't just managing reps. He was making a statement. Fast forward to today, and now we have clarity. The Bills and Cook agreed to a deal averaging $12 million per season. A number that frankly feels like the sweet spot. Not too high, not too low. Just enough to show respect to a player who's been ascending, but without the team overextending itself on a position that, let's be honest, hasn't always paid off when it comes to second contracts. $12 million puts Cook tied for the 6th highest paid running back in the league in terms of annual salary, sitting right next to Josh Jacobs and behind only the likes of Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and Alvin Kamara. But here's the nuance. That $12 million in 2025 doesn't carry the same weight as $12 million did 2 or 3 years ago. The salary cap has ballooned, jumping over $50 million in just the last couple of seasons. So when you adjust for cap percentage, Cook's deal becomes even more palatable. His contract takes up just about 4.3% of the cap at signing, 7th among NFL running backs. For comparison, McCaffrey's deal ate up more than 7% when it was signed. That's a big difference, and it matters when you're talking about roster building in a league that's driven by financial efficiency. Now, what really stands out in this deal is the guaranteed money. $30 million guaranteed at signing. That's massive. In fact, it's the 3rd highest guarantee among all running back contracts in the league, trailing only Barkley and a rookie deal given to Ashton Gentry by the Raiders. For Cook, that's the win. He may not have hit that $15 million AAV he was hoping for, but securing $30 million up front is a major victory. It gives him long-term security, and it gives the Bills some cost certainty on a player they clearly believe in, and it's easy to see why. Cook's production has been strong, but what's more important is his growth. He entered the league as a pass-catching specialist out of Georgia. There were even whispers that maybe he'd be better off switching to wide receiver. But fast forward a few seasons, and now we're talking about a guy who's morphed into a complete running back. In his 2nd season, he racked up 1,500 yards from scrimmage. The year after, 1,300 yards and 18 total touchdowns. That's not just production, that's impact. And what's most encouraging is how Cook addressed the weaknesses in his game. Early on, he struggled with fumbles, lacked physicality, and wasn't trusted in pass protection. But in 2024, he turned those weaknesses into strengths. The fumbles dried up. The drops became less of an issue. And suddenly, he's running with authority, lowering his pads, breaking tackles, and staying on the field in critical situations. It's clear he put in the work. It's clear he's developed. And that's exactly what you want to see before committing long-term dollars. But this isn't just about rewarding past performance. This deal is about maximizing Cook's future in this offense. The Bills have found something special in how they use their running backs. This isn't a one-dimensional ground and pound system. It's a modern zone-based rushing attack that thrives on speed, vision, and explosiveness. And that fits Cook's skill set perfectly. His ability to cut back, hit home runs, and contribute in the passing game gives this offense another gear, especially when you consider how much this team leaned on them for explosive plays last season, at a time when the passing game was still searching for consistency. What makes this even more exciting is the stability the Bills now have in their backfield. Cook is locked in for 4 more years. Ray Davis is under contract for another 3. Ty Johnson has 2 years left on his deal. That's continuity, and it matters. This group isn't just talented, it's cohesive. And when you combine that with an offensive scheme that plays to their strengths, it creates a reliable and dynamic rushing attack that can take pressure off Josh Allen, extend drives, and keep defenses honest. And it's not just about what Cook can do with the ball in his hands. It's about how he fits into the larger picture. He doesn't need to be a bell cow. In fact, one of the keys to his success has been keeping him around that 50% usage rate. Not overusing him, not running him into the ground, letting him stay fresh, keeping his legs explosive in December and January. That's how you get the most out of a player like Cook. Not by feeding him the ball 300 times a season, but by using him strategically, taking advantage of his burst, his vision, and his versatility. And here's something else that can't be overlooked. Cook has very little wear and tear on his body. In college, he had under 300 touches across 4 seasons at Georgia. That's incredibly low mileage. And even in the NFL, he's only just now crossed the 600 touch mark after 3 years. That kind of workload bodes well for longevity, especially at a position where so many players fall off before they hit 30. Combine that with the fact that he's only missed 1 game due to injury in his pro career, and it becomes easy to see why the Bills felt comfortable making this commitment. But of course, every deal has ripple effects. You can't pay everyone, and this contract may complicate things down the road with guys like Connor McGovern or other key pieces on the offensive line. That said, the timing of the deal and the continued rise of the cap might make it easier to keep the core intact. With players like Osiris Torrance still on rookie deals and the team projecting more flexibility in future years, this doesn't feel like a move that will hamstring them. It feels like a calculated risk, and one that aligns with the way the roster is being built. Ultimately, this was about striking a balance. The Bills didn't cave to an unreasonable demand. Cook didn't hold out indefinitely. Both sides pushed, both compromised, and the end result is a deal that makes sense for everyone. $12 million per year for a dynamic, ascending running back who fits the scheme perfectly and continues to improve. Yeah, that's a win. It may not have started pretty, and it certainly created some headaches along the way, but in the end, the resolution feels fair. There's still plenty of story left to be written. Cook's extension locks in the present, but it also puts more on his shoulders. Now, he's not just a lead back. He's a paid leader. The expectations will rise. Every fumble, every drop, every missed blitz pickup will be magnified. But if his development over the last 3 years tells us anything, it's that he's up for the challenge. He's learned, he's grown, he's answered the call every step of the way. And now, with his contract behind him, the focus can finally shift from negotiations and drama to what really matters: football. Cook can settle into his role. The team can move forward with clarity, and Bills fans can start dreaming about what this offense can look like with a fully unlocked James Cook hitting his stride. Whether it's the home run runs, the game-breaking receptions, or the consistency that's quietly become his hallmark, there's a lot to like. And with this deal, the Bills have made it clear. They're betting on even more to come. Now that the contract is signed and the numbers are settled, the real conversation begins. What does this mean for the Buffalo Bills offense moving forward? And how does James Cook's extension reshape the identity of this team? Because make no mistake, this isn't just a simple roster move. This is a statement, a declaration from the Bills front office that they're building around a multidimensional offense. One that doesn't live or die on the arm of Josh Allen alone. One that recognizes how valuable it is to have a back like Cook, who can shift the momentum of a game with a single cut, a single burst, or a perfectly timed screen. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. The sports world is buzzing with what many are calling one of the most shocking developments of the offseason, as multiple sources close to both organizations suggest that the Buffalo Bills have reached a stunning agreement with the Cleveland Browns for defensive superstar MYLES Garrett. While neither team has officially released the terms, whispers from league insiders point to a blockbuster trade that could redefine the defensive landscape of the AFC. The rumored deal which reportedly became final after a week of quiet, but intense negotiations has set social media on fire, with fans and analysts scrambling to assess the implications. Garrett, known for his rare combination of size, speed, and relentless pass-rushing ability, has long been regarded as one of the NFL's premier defensive players, and his potential pairing with the Bills' already formidable defense has left opponents wary. According to those familiar with the talks, the Bills pursued Garrett aggressively after identifying him as the missing piece for a championship push. The Browns, meanwhile, are said to have secured a massive package in return, possibly including multiple first-round draft picks and key contributors from Buffalo's roster. Still, the question remains, how will this trade reshape the fortunes of both franchises moving forward? The rumor mill began churning in earnest late last week when whispers emerged that the Browns were quietly fielding calls on Garrett, something previously considered unthinkable. Many around the league initially dismissed the speculation as mere off-season chatter designed to stir attention. But the narrative shifted quickly when credible insiders began hinting at serious talks with Buffalo. Sources describe a deal that gained momentum behind closed doors, driven by the Bills' urgency to strengthen their defense after last season's playoff exit, and Cleveland's willingness to explore bold moves to address other roster needs. Garrett's track record speaks for itself. A multiple-time Pro Bowler and former first overall pick, he has terrorized quarterbacks since entering the league, consistently ranking among the leaders in sacks and quarterback pressures. For Buffalo, his addition would inject elite-level disruption to a unit that already boasts talent at every level, from Tre'Davious White in the secondary to Matt Milano at linebacker. For the Browns, parting with their defensive cornerstone would be painful, but some insiders claim the return package gives them a chance to bolster both their offense and future draft capital. Whether this will prove visionary or reckless is a debate already raging among fans. Reaction across the NFL community has been nothing short of explosive. Bills fans are celebrating the possibility of adding Garrett as if it were a major free agent signing, envisioning him wrecking opposing offensive lines alongside Buffalo's aggressive front seven. Social media platforms have been flooded with mock-ups of Garrett in a Bills uniform, while Cleveland fans are voicing both shock and frustration at the thought of losing their most dominant player. Analysts have been quick to point out that while trades of this magnitude are rare, they are not unprecedented. Franchise-altering moves often carry both enormous risk and reward. Several former players have weighed in as well, with some praising the Browns for capitalizing on Garrett's peak value and others criticizing the decision to move a generational talent. There is also curiosity about how Garrett himself might be processing the news. Given his deep ties to the Cleveland community and his previous statements about wanting to retire as a Brown, reports indicate that behind the scenes he has remained professional and focused, but one can only imagine the emotional complexity of such a dramatic career turn. If confirmed, this could be remembered as a turning point for both teams. The strategic implications are immense. For Buffalo, adding Garrett could be the catalyst for a defensive renaissance, giving them a dominant edge presence capable of shifting games single-handedly. His arrival would likely command double teams, freeing up other defenders and creating chaos for opposing offenses. That kind of disruption could prove invaluable in the postseason, especially against the high-powered offenses the Bills will inevitably face in the AFC. On the other side, the Browns would be betting heavily on their ability to replenish their pass rush through the draft and free agency, while simultaneously using the incoming assets to address offensive consistency and depth. League insiders suggest that part of Cleveland's calculus may involve faith in emerging players on their defensive line and a belief that their offense needs more firepower to compete at the highest level. Such a gamble reflects the increasing boldness of NFL front offices, where traditional notions of untouchable players are eroding in favor of aggressive, forward-thinking roster construction. Still, as history shows, bold trades can just as easily propel a team to contention as they can plunge it into years of regret. Ultimately, until the official announcement drops, this remains a rumor, albeit one with unusually strong traction. and credibility. Both organizations are known for keeping negotiations tightly sealed, but the convergence of multiple insider reports has made it difficult to dismiss. If finalized, the move would instantly become one of the most talked about trades in recent memory, with implications stretching well beyond the upcoming season. Fans of both teams will be watching closely for confirmation, and the wider NFL community will be eager to dissect every detail, from the exact compensation to the behind-the-scenes motivations. For now, speculation reigns supreme, and every new whisper only fuels the growing anticipation. The Bills' pursuit of Garrett underscores their commitment to seizing their Super Bowl window, while the Browns' willingness to engage in talks highlights the unpredictable nature of the modern NFL. Whether this ends with Garrett in a different shade of uniform or as a cautionary tale of rumors gone wild, the fact remains that the conversation around this potential deal has already made waves across the league, and those waves are only getting bigger. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.